Today we're going to be doing an egg cutting again. You'll notice I have a different mic here. That's because my mic broke. This one is going to be producing some double hets. However, they do have a little bit more to them. This is a Monarch to a Clown, Super Pastel, Russo. So every single one of these babies is going to be Pastel, and 50% of the time we're going to get Russo. Obviously, I'm setting myself up for the future here. I hope to get, well, mostly females. That's what I want, but I do need a male, and I really don't care where it goes. I want Russo to come along for the ride, but only in one of them, and it is a very subtle gene. If I can't tell, I might need to send in shed tests. I cannot keep two Russos, and the reason for that is very simple, because I'm trying to make a visual Monarch Clown here in 3 years. Wouldn't it be a big punch in the gut to wait all those years only to create an all-white snake? That's what would happen if I got two Russos in some combos, so I don't want that in this case. I do want one copy, because it is an incredible enhancing gene, especially in combos where a lot's going on. It does a lot to kind of clean that up, but not two of them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. You're going to notice that there's a towel here. That's what I'm told is a shock mount for when I go like this, so you don't hear banging. These are, I think, on day 57. But either way, there's a couple that have pipped at least. And there they are. It's like 3 of them have pipped. You notice I have a little bit of a theme here. They're clowns, well, they're hets, and they're monarchs. So in all of my corny humor, I decided to name half of them after clowns and half of them after monarchs. Let's go ahead and go with Queen Victoria, because this snake does not look comfortable right now. You are stuck, aren't you? Oh my. Yeah, you are stuck. All right, let's help you out here. You're pushing too, so that's kind of a problem. So you can get their head through, but they can't get their heads. There we go. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? Alright, Queen Victoria. Very nice. If I had to guess, this would be a Russo. Russo is subtle, but very nice. Very dark blacks. I do like the, honestly, just the pastels when they first come out are so nice. But I think this one is going to be Russo. This one is huge. Look at how gigantic that is. For a hatchling, how is this one animal? There's its head. See it down there in the goop? It stuck it way down there. It's like, I'm never coming out again. That was terrible. Alright, we'll leave it be. It was probably very unhappy. Now we had a Monarch. Let's go to a Clown, and that would be it. Okay, these are absolutely enormous eggs. If I had to guess, this one's just Pastel. So you can kind of see the difference here. Like, you see that there's no flaming coming up there. This one's also a little bit more light. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. That one's got more of an orangey. This one's a little bit lighter. If I had to guess, this one is the Russo here, the Victoria. I could be wrong, though. Needless to say, I'm going to send some in to be 100% positive. So we did a Clown. We'll just go in order here. So this is King William. There's a lot of English. There's only... In fact, there's 3 English monarchs here, and then just Catherine from Russia. This one's gonna be goopy. Huge. I'm just poking immediately right at us. Hello. I'd say just a Pastel here, if I had to guess again. But I could be wrong. It's kind of difficult to see when they're in their eggs right now. But it's just more yellowy, less creamy than their first one. Very blushed out head, too. And they might not look like a whole bunch of specialness right here, but think about the potential in the future for what these are going to do. These are going to make Monarch Clowns. When I first saw a Monarch Clown, I said, yep, I love Monarch. Not that I didn't like Monarch by itself. I love Monarch by itself, but that's what set it over the top, was watching all the combos it was doing well in, and then I saw a specific snake from Canova. He made a spot nose Monarch Clown. That thing was just insane. That is the combo I've been chasing. Ideally, just now that we're halfway through, what I'd like to do is I'd like to keep some females from this, and I'd like them to have Russo in them. And then ideally, I'd like to buy a male with some extra genes, like spot nose, for example, and maybe some other things too. I'd love mahogany in that mix, maybe chocolate or Wookiee, something along those lines, something a little more of a darkish tone. But they are expensive, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. So I do need a male as well. So ideally, I'd like to keep the females, because they might stay with me for a while. They have Russo, and the male can just not have Russo, because he'll only be with me to make the pairing if I have to stick with what I have here, and then I'll sell him as an opportunity to someone else to do the same thing I'm doing here. All right, Harleen Quinzel, back in there so I can cut you out. See the whites creeping up there? I really like this one. Got some granulation in there. Floating alien heads. I really like this one. This is, without a doubt, in my opinion, a Russo. Pastel Russo at that. And then double head Monarch Clown. So I hope it's a girl. This one's very sharp. Really like it. There's its little head. Yeah, I'm really liking this one. Now we'll move on to Catherine the Great, who is very much pushing up against this. Come on, come out for us. Is that you right there? Is that your head? Somewhere in here. I don't know if this is you or this is your head. So it might be a little bit goopy as well. It's awesome to feel them moving and bucking up against this. I'd have to say just the pastel, just from first glance anyways. These have some great contrast to them. They're just pastels. They do massively change as they grow though. Don't kid yourself. They will brown out, but I'm not worried about how these snakes look. I'm worried about how their babies will look, because that is what we're after. Alright, Joker, it's your turn. I seen you keep peeking out. Also another one with this kind of cool like granulation and whatnot. I'd say this is another Russo. So hopefully you are a girl, Joker. Yeah, you can definitely see how the flaming comes up in between the pattern kind of. That doesn't mean anything for sure, but there's a difference here. I'm starting to get better at identifying this, and I believe that that is what the difference is Russo. Another one that's incredibly goopy, and there's the spine right there. You can see it. Look at that. That is a snake right there. That's so cool. I'll never get over it. Now move, please, so I can get in. And help you get out. This might be the goopiest one of them all. I'll take extra special care. I say that and then I squeezed it. This is so goopy that I don't really want to mess with it that much. Some cool little spots. The pattern is just really nice. I don't know why the pattern's like this. Look at that. Stretches over the top. Very black and dark. Look up there. So awesome. I'd say Russo if I had to guess, but I don't know, because up here it didn't look like it. There's an incredible amount of contrast on these ones right now. Very, very nice. That was Henry. King Henry. Okay, so now we're going to do our update video. They've been put away for a little while now, and they've had their first shed. They don't look too crazy, but they're all 100% het for Monarch and het for Clown, which makes them very special. They could potentially make some crazy things. So everything is pastel. Comes from a killer clown. In fact, comes from this girl, and she's pretty nice for a pastel. Even though she's a killer clown, they do tend to brown out. Now the reason why she's nice is because of that Russo. The Russo gene keeps her a little bit cleaner, and she's actually even brighter in person. I see on the camera here it shows a little bit darker, but it's pretty bright. And it is a little darker here, no doubt, but not that much. You can see her sides are pretty creamy, but everything she passes has to be pastel, and that is what happened. We got all pastel, but this is one of her babies, and I believe it's a girl. I thought I had more males. I am confident now I have more females, which is great. Out of 7, I think I got 4 females and 3 males. So let's just make this easy. Everything is pastel, everything is het clown, and everything is het monarch. So really, it's just a question of did we hit Russo or not? And Russo was incredibly subtle, and I'm still trying to learn. So there's a little bit more flaming, and then when it's in a normal, they're typically a little bit brighter. So if we go by flaming, there is some of that here that's coming up on both sides. I am not 100% confident, but I am believing that this is a probable Russo pastel double het clown monarch. Look at this one. It actually is a little bit brighter than our last one. Let me actually bring that one back out real quick. See the camera. I think it shows it just a bit. You can kind of see it right there. I don't know. Maybe you can't on the camera anyways. I believe it's a little bit brighter, a little bit cleaner. There is a little bit of granulation in there though, and I've heard that that can happen with Russo. And there's some flaming coming up from the sides. Russo's so subtle that I'm not as confident in any of these. I'm pretty confident on this one though. The one we just showed, that was another girl. Here's another one right here. She's very clean, very nice, very bright. The flaming, there is some of that. That sometimes can happen on any snake. I mean, let's look at this normal I have right here. Look, I got some stuff jumping up from the belly right there. Not as much though. You can see the flaming is far crazier, but I'm just trying to put in contrast that just because you see some indicators, don't bet the farm on it, I guess is what I'm saying. Now I'm going to send, like I said, a lot of these in for shed testing. It just kind of makes sense because for one, I'm going to keep some of these, and 2, I don't want to keep 2 Russos. That would be very bad if I got the double visual and it was an all white snake, because Russo is a blue-eyed leucistic complex gene. 2 copies will create what I believe they called the white diamond, and I'd have an all white snake that could potentially be, well, one of
of the most expensive snakes. So I believe all of those females are Russo. Now, here's our first male. He's kind of just looking pastel-y. Look at the sides. I'm not seeing any flaming really. There's a little on this one, just a bit. Look right there, just one, but I showed you on the normal it had just one, maybe a little bit right there too. And he's not as bright. So he's possible, but I don't think he is. Here's our last female here. There is some flaming on the side, but not as much on our last one. So again, possible, but I'm not confident on that one at all. I'm far more confident in the first 3 females we showed you. There's another one, got some flaming. I don't know about brightness, but there is some flaming there. So I'm more confident on this boy here being a Russo. I think all of my boys, other than maybe one of them, will be available. Here's my last male right here. There's some granulation. I've heard that very subtle granulation can be an indicator of it. Some flaming. Cool pattern on this one, but not so much on the other side. Flaming, that is. I would have to probably edge towards no on him, but again, possibly. It's so darn subtle. You know, it's honestly easier to tell when it's by itself. Let's show the dad. I love showing him off anyway. So here is the dad right here. He is a male Monarch. He's a full-grown boy, and he still looks amazing. There's nothing really with a pet Monarch that changes anything, other than I hear a lot of times people will say, Tom Harbring himself told me that it looks like they taper off near the tail on the hets. I don't think that's always the case, but I do see it in quite often a lot of the hets. A lot of our het Monarchs that we're growing out have it as well, like a tapering off like you see in the actual Monarch here. But I don't know if that's for sure proven anything yet, but it is something that a lot of breeders have seen, and myself included. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can actually check out a lot of our other egg cutting videos right there.